This is a less controversial scarf. It appears I created an example of the Barbra Streisand effect by hoping not to attract attention to the scarf, and ended up drawing attention to it. So, alright, now I'm testing with the microphone clipped close to the exhaust, and I put the lav mic in a spot that I haven't tested before. See if you can see it down here. So the Rode mic is hanging out here, and then this wire's going down here. It's got to be loose because this is, attached to the swing arm, so it's going to flex a little bit, but let's see how it goes. The exhaust in the W800 is very quiet. Anyway, it's a hot evening and it's smoky. I'm going to cool off for a bit. Maybe catch a little bit of the sunshine or the sunset. What I'm going to try to recreate, and hopefully it works, is I'm going to talk about the differences between the way I ride and a lot of these moto influencers. And what frustrates me is that they make these videos with extremely exaggerated contrast and colors, and they set the wide angle or the lens perspective on their GoPro to the most extreme wide angle. And then they record these 15-second clips of them, completely wide open throttle, lugging it and shifting between, 2,000 and 3,000 RPMs. And then everybody comments, oh wow, like pure sound, raw sound. What's your mic setup? What's your exhaust setup? And the audio is all distorted and clipping, and you can hear it rubbing against things and clicking as it hits things in their bag or shuffles like against the material in their bag. Some people are sandwiching the microphone between foam and putting it in a backpack, and then heavily modifying the sound in post-production. And as they ride along, they're just, constantly revving the bike at lights and but then not actually getting through the rev range. When they're actually riding. Oh, what is going on here? Well, that guy went. The road's obviously closed. Well, what part of the road is closed? Some guy in my last video put up a comment in Spanish which translated to something along the lines of me having horrible control of my transmission and poor bike. I don't know how well Google translated it, but if I'm doing something really bad or damaging to my bike or demonstrating poor control, feel free to tell me. back to the topic of de-influencing motorcycle vlogs. I just gently rev through the range, shift gently and smoothly when I'm not going anywhere too fast, or if I'm not trying to keep up with traffic or beat traffic. Just like this, gently riding. And this bike has plenty of torque down low, and well, actually throughout most of the rev range, so you can kind of just putt around. But I'm in 5th gear right now and below 2000 RPM at 50. Like, I'm definitely lugging the engine. I can feel it vibrating. So here's an example of a spot where these moto influencers would do their exaggerated riding. So I'm just going to do it normally. Speed limit 70, so I can rev it up a little bit more. But really, I could do the entire speed limit in 2nd gear. And I'm going to reduce the amount of stress on the engine and components. If I let the engine rev up. I'm barely using any throttle. Like, I don't know if you can tell, like, maybe 10-15%. Just maintain the speed. Technically, I'm going too fast. And I'm shooting in the 8x7 format so that I can crop later on and zoom in, and it forces you to set the lens to sort of the medium wide setting. So I'm not giving you an overly distorted perspective. Pull over here, and I'll switch the settings over to the influencer style. And while I stop, I'm also just going to check the rest of the kit. Alright, be right back, or maybe not. Let's see how I can edit this together. So this is how these moto influencers shoot their videos. You know, they start with a walk up, and then everything's out here so that you can see, so it looks like a video game. You know, they do this, they show off their golfing gloves or driving gloves that are barely have any leather on them, purely stylistic, completely perforated, and then they're just revving constantly, and then they'll put it in gear and then rev and look around and then drag the clutch. They'll drive like this. All low speeds though, just lugging the engine. Wide open throttle for no reason. Even I rev too high for some of their videos. And then the road will be mostly straight. They'll have a gentle curve in it, and they'll way over exaggerate. Okay, here we go. wide open throttle, and then they'll do this. And then they'll downshift, and then they'll go really slow. And they'll do this. And they'll... Now, what gear am I in? Okay, I was in second. And then they'll do this again. Oh, I forgot to swerve for no reason at all. And then they'll cut the clip at like 15 seconds of riding. And they'll put some Pink Floyd on or something in the background on Instagram, and they'll call it, you know, pure sound or raw sound. And, like, this doesn't show motorcycling at all. I still got a 10-minute ride home now. What am I gonna do? Like, drive like a jackass or ride normally? Anyway, let's test the current setup on the highway. Do I need to downshift at all? No, I don't. But for the sake of, you know, pure sound and raw sound. We'll go over the speed limit by the time I can even show this goofiness. So I've short shifted every gear. For the sake of influencing people or trying to get clout. Call it, you know, lugging for clout. What am I achieving for clout? You wear out your tires faster, you wear out your engine components, but you're lugging it under peak torque. I guess on a fuel injected bike it might balance the air fuel mixture for you, but on a carbureted bike you're just moving past the smaller jets and the needle and going straight to the, you know, the main jet, drawing as much fuel as possible, because that's how carburetors work. Another influencer takeoff. I'm never going to do this again. I'm just damaging my bike by doing this. So here, I'm on an on-ramp, doing 50. Oh my god, in 5th gear I can't do it. I'll get 4th gear. Do you need to downshift from 16? Probably at 50% throttle. Get up to highway speed. Shift gently. instead of sitting here and then just, revving it, you just gently take off. Shift gently. Don't go wide open throttle at low RPMs. If you need to go faster, bring the revs up high. So if you're a beginner motorcyclist watching these videos and wondering why my stuff is so boring, don't lug for clout. You see those people on these influencers, they're changing motorcycles every couple of years, trying to get the latest, greatest one. They want something that's more powerful. They don't care about the longevity of the bike. Well, they obviously make enough money that they can afford their behavior. You can afford your lifestyle choices, then good for you, do whatever you want. Lugging for clout. We need to cancel lugging for clout and de-influence motorcycle riding. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Might polarize some of the viewers, but as always, hopefully I did not influence you to buy something or do something expensive. Enjoy your slow motorcycles.